Hi there, welcome to my channel, Skipper Scale Models. If we haven't met before, I'm Ted of Skipper Scale Models. Obviously, I build various things in small scale on my workbench, from plastic models up until model boats, or I have in the past. And this time I've been building a little cottage from a little company called Petite Properties. I've never built one before, so I thought I'd give it a go. It's my little foray into model railway building. So this is 1/76 scale, and the model that I've chose to build is actually called Parsnip Cottage. I'll put a link down below in the comments about the model and where you can get it from. But what I've done, I've changed Parsnip Cottage a little bit. I made it into a Lake District whitewashed cottage. It's not perfect. One or two little alterations I could have made, but it's the first time I built one of these, and I just thought I would show you how easy it is to put them together. So go and have a look at the video and see how we made a Lake District whitewash cottage. So what do we get from Petite Properties then? Well, after ordering on their website, and for the cost of $11.99 at the time that I filmed this, they will send you a nice sturdy package, plus postage of course. They'll send you a nice sturdy package containing your desired property. So let's have a look at what's inside. I have opened it just to make sure it was the right one. So what's inside? Well, there's a couple of sheets of instructions telling you what to need, what you're going to need, how it all goes together, and there's a list here of the bits and pieces that should be in the package. Then in a big polythene envelope, there's all these bits. Now I've also opted to buy an optional set of roof tiles. There are one or two different ones available. These are the roof tiles I've chosen for this particular project. The rest of it, the kit itself, is what looks to be some very nicely laser cut MDF board. Really nice and sturdy, not thin stuff, but nice bits. Some tiny bits in a plastic bag. We'll be keeping them in there until we need them. Some other some windows, nice windows. We're going to need to cut them out, obviously. Lots of other bits and pieces. And all you need to do is just compare the bits in the bag with the bits that are listed in the instructions for the construction of it. The front and the back, or the back and the front, whichever way around. There we go. What do we need to put it together? Well, we obviously need some glue. I'm going to use some high tacky glue. I think that should work. It's recommended as a tacky glue. You could use some super glue, some Sino. You could use that maybe just to give it a quick grab so that things go together, and then back it up with the tacky glue. But I think this is going to be suitable for the list. I'm not going to show you all the tools that you need. It does recommend that maybe you have a straight edge, maybe a knife, and some scissors. What did it say? Let's have a look. It did tell you what the instructions. Construction kit, we need glue, a fine tip applicator. Yeah, I've cut that tacky glue bottle down so it's a very fine nozzle, and it does the job well. A long ruler and long nose tweezers. I've got various sets of tweezers, but one to hand, just some tweezers there. A scalpel or a craft knife, and they're all quite optional. But as we go along, if I use anything else, you'll probably just see me using it, and I'll forget to mention it. I'm going to do it on my workbench with a cutting mat underneath, and the cutting mat serves two purposes. One, it stops the bench getting messy, and two, there's some nice right angles on here, so if you needed to line something up, you could use the grid on the cutting mat to do that. Right, let's go and get some bits together and make a start. Now, before I go any further, what I thought it might be a good idea was to go through all the parts, cross-reference them with the list on the instruction sheets, and then with a pencil just label each parts A, B, C, D and such like that, just so that it's a quick reference, and then to work out which is the right way round, which is the front of it, which is the back of it. I'd suggest that you just study the pictures carefully just to make sure that you're getting things the right way around, because it'd be a bit of a pain that you get things all stuck nicely together and you find that the front door is, you know, the window is the wrong side or something like that. But there we go. So yeah, just label it. Right, let's go get some glue and put it together. That's the first piece completed. I've glued it, as I say, then let it dry when I've lined it up with the grid on the cutting mat. And I've also, what I've done along the inside is I've put like a bead of sticky glue just to reinforce the joint, but it's already grabbed, it's nice and firm and ready to put part C in. As I say, make sure you know which is the right way around, just compare it with the picture, and that is going to go on there, line up with the front of the building, and there is in here a little 2mm overlap. That's just so the back can fit on. So right, let's have a look at that. Clear things up, and we can run a little bit of glue along here. Once you get the first couple of angles in, or the first couple of parts together, all the angles should start coming in and be more easy to keep in line, and you can line everything up. So just squeeze it together, make sure the front of the building is all flush together, and then just sit it down on the mat. Don't rush it, because if you start rushing things, it'll start falling to bits. Let one piece at least sort of firm up and get glued together, then you can move on to the next bit. We'll see the sticky glue, as the tacky glue, as it squeezes out. You could use a cocktail stick just to either drag it up, or in fact, like I say, run a bead of glue along just to reinforce the glue lines. And then the next part goes on there. Just make sure that you get it the right way around. I'm not sure if it makes too much difference, but I'm just following the instructions anyway. And then continue like that until we've built it all. Now I've stopped here. Rather than go on and putting the roof on, this is the stage where if you're building this little cottage, it's the time when you can decide on what your finish is going to be, where it probably be a brick effect or a stone effect, and I've decided in my case I'm going to do it in the style of a Lake District whitewashed cottage. And you probably also noticed I've done a little bit of work inside. The reason for that is I didn't want the windows to sort of sit directly on the wall. Lake District cottages usually been about for quite a few years, and they've built quite sturdily. They've got really thick walls, so any windows, doors and such would be set back a little bit from the face of the house itself. So in that instance, what I've done, I've taken some card from another cardboard building kit, and just use them to line the windows and the doors. I didn't bother here with this one because that's where the sort of bay window, yeah, that's the word, the bay window is going to be. And I didn't bother too much with the little annex, the little side building either, because they were probably add-ons to the original build. So that's what I'm going to do. But first of all, what we've got to do is prepare the surface to take the finish that I'm going to put on, and I'm going to use just some simple plaster of Paris, polyfiller, that type of thing. Well, first of all, what I've got to do is give the whole thing a coat of simple PVA glue. Yeah, children's craft glue, really does the job. So you mix that with some parts of water, then it's nice and thin, and you can get it all on, and then let it dry. So yeah, let's go and do that. And it really is as simple and as quick as that. Now we're just going to leave it. It's the end of my modelling day, so I'll be leaving this overnight, and then I'll come back to it later, and we can get the I suppose the plasterers in, and we can coat the outside of the little building. Right, and now we can move on. What we're going to do next, as I've said, we're going to apply the outer finish. You could do it as you want to. You can apply a brick paper, or you could just paint it, or leave it as it is. But what I said I wanted to do was to make this look like a Lake District cottage, and for that effect I'm going to use some simple polyfiller. Polyfiller, that's a brand name, but you can use an all-purpose filler. It does say in the instructions you want to find yourself really an unbranded cheap filler. Some of the branded more expensive ones have additives to make the plaster go off quicker and smoother and things like that, but just a simple cheap all-purpose filler is all you need, something like this. I've had a go to apply it at the back. Now you've got to excuse the camera while we do this, because I've made the settings to sort of even out the white balance, so it might flash a little bit as we go from white to dark and things like that. I've tried it on the back, just simple mixing up the paste and smoothing it on using using the wife's credit card. Don't tell her, she thinks she's lost it. Anyway, so what we need to do is to mix this filler up in a bowl. A simple takeaway bowl is ideal for this sort of thing. Now we want to mix it to a thin creamy like paste. Let's just have a look at the instructions and see what it actually says. It does yeah, reading it through, it becomes the texture of ricotta cheese or a very stiff whipped cream. Right, so we can do that. So right, I'll go and get this mixed up, and then we can apply it and yeah, become a Lake District whitewashed cottage. There we are. I think that's about done. don't mix too much, because if you mix too much it might all dry up on you. Just do a little bit at a time. Although there's probably enough here to do a couple of sides, we can always mix some more. Right, let's try and apply it. Now then, before you apply it, check out where your roofs and such are going to fit, because you want to try and avoid any areas where you're going to glue the roof or anything else on. I know there's a little bit of a canopy that goes above the door, but I'll sort that out later. And here I've just masked off where the bay window is going to sit, and the roof for that. So right, let's have a go. We'll try the back side. Hopefully I can keep it in shot and you can see what's going on. And then just a thin coating. Don't worry about getting it perfect, super smooth. If you want that sort of finish, you can rub it down later with some sandpaper, emery paper, whatever. And also don't worry about the windows, because we can clean those up as well using the same technique. And if you let the plaster go off a little bit, you can also open the windows out a little bit then, but we'll show you that as we go along. So yeah, just practice your plastering skills to get it all on. You can always do a couple of thin layers and come back and build it up to as little or as much as you want. Big concentration this. We'll try the end here. We'll use our what's in the bowl. Yeah, there's probably enough here to do the two sides. Then we'll let that go off a little bit and we can do the rest of it. I know there's a window in there, and we'll get around and uncover that in a moment. If you can smooth it, get it as smooth as you can first, and then it's less rubbing down, but no worries, it's easy enough to rub down. And you can see here in the corner where a little bit is chipped off as I've cleaned it up. But that, yep, just go over it again, just like repairing the holes in the wall at home. Simple. Now we can rub that down again. So that's two sides done. Using a little bit of a stick or a tool, we can clean the windows out. Get an idea where they are. You can always come back and clean them up later. And as I say, if you let the plaster, the filler go off a little bit, you can clean these up much easier. The door. And there's a window there. I think there's window sills to go on these as well, but we'll get round to that. Looks a bit messy, but don't worry, it'll clean up and it'll look perfect. Right, I'll go on, I'll let this set, and then I'll go on and cover the rest of the exterior. and then we'll come back and have a look at it. A whitewashed, or will be, a Lake District whitewashed cottage. There we are. Right, I've applied all the polyfill all the way around. Now if you wanted to, when you got to this stage, all you'd need to do, if you wanted to make like a block or a brickwork effect, you can just scribe into the polyfiller, and it's easy as that, and then paint it accordingly. I'm going to paint this one white. So what I'm going to do first is once again give it a coat of watered down PVA. You remember the stuff that we had earlier. That way, because it's a dusty surface, it'll help to key it and make the paint stick a little bit better. I'm just going to give it a coat of white paint just to even everything up. As you see, there's a little one or two thin areas here. You could always fill them again. But I think I'll get away with a bit of paint. To clean the windows, all you need to do is just sort of clear them out while the polyfiller, the filler is sort of hasn't gone off, or if it does, you can use something like a knife just to scribe in the windows and take it out, or a simple like sanding stick to file it in easily. Right, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and paint it. Then we'll look at we'll put the windows in and get ready to put the roof on and things like that. Right, okay. And as you come back to me, I'm just finishing off gluing on the bay window. Everything about gluing the windows in is really easy. You will notice, of course, as I show you around at this angle here, you can see that the window sills have gone in as well. They went on first. Paint them first, so you know that you're not going to get glue everywhere. And then just using some of the tacky glue that we've been using for the rest of the build, you can glue the acetate windows in, if you can see in there. When they're on the acetate sheet, when you cut them out, just make sure that you're getting the right windows to fit in the right opening. One or two are a little bit close, but you'll soon work it out. Take your time, check once, check twice, check 3 times that you're getting the right window size for the right aperture. And then the bay window itself, they need to be cut as well, so you can bend the bay window to suit. You'll see that I've painted that as well, because I didn't want to end up trying to paint it really carefully and not get paint on the windows. Painting, all I did for the painting was just use just some simple watercolours. Really easy. Right, what's going to go on next? Well, we've got the doors to go in. I need to find out how they fit in there, but yep, there's the first one. Then the front door, that'll go in there like that, and once again it'll be just glued in like the windows were with the tacky glue. And then we can get on with putting the roof on. I'll go get the doors done and then look to get some roofs on. Yeah, sort of topping it out really. That's a bit of an event in the building trade, isn't it? Right, to the roof. And we come back and the roof's gone on. Fairly easy, follow the instructions. The roof is cut out of card and included in the kit, and it fits perfectly. As well as the roof, there's the fascia boards, and there's a little canopy porch to go over the door. Really easy to make, and you can see there we've put the I put tiles on. Now these tiles are extra to the kit. I've ordered a pack. Well, in fact, I took advice and I ordered 2 packs because apparently that's what this little kit will take. So 2 packs. I've chose the tiles. Now there are different types of roofing slates, tiles available, and you can just choose whatever you want to suit the type of building that you want. These are really easy to go on. I'll show you that. I've done the back, if we can see in there. And now then, what I did with the front, I actually went and tried painting each individual strip and then gluing them on. I didn't really think that that worked because there was so much irregularity, unevenness in the painting as it went on. So what I've done on the back, I've just glued the strips of tiles on, and then what I'll do, I'll paint it all. So how do you do it? Right, we take a strip of tiles. I can just get this out of here, and it builds up in no time at all. Let's get a strip out. Here we have a strip of the laser cut roofing tiles. Now you'll see that they fit on there almost perfectly. What we do with the first row, line it up with the edge of the roof, and just go slightly over the edge just to give it that little bit of a look, and then we can have a look. We don't have to be perfect at this stage because we can cut the roof, the tiles to length later on, right? And then a little bit of PVA glue, or you can use the tacky glue if you want. It works just as well, but I've got some PVA glue here. Give it a good coating of that, and then these first row of tiles, as I say, line up with the front and back, and then go ever so slightly over the edge at the bottom. Just gives it that little bit of overhang. There we go. That's that one. It's as simple as that. The next one, now then, if you look at if you go outside, have a look at your roof, you'll see the tiles are stepped over each other. So it goes on the same, and then it moves half a tile. So it goes in there like that, so that your little gap in here, the little marks between the tiles, overlap each tile by half. If you get what I mean, we can have a look as we go on. Right, that one goes on. Another row of another strip of PVA glue, and then that one goes on. And just cut that to length. Oops. And it does build up really quickly. Now then, a little bit of a idea for you. If you wanted to put a little bit of weathering into your roof, what you can do, the next row of tiles, we can line them up, ready to go on, cut them to length. Then just before you put this row of tiles on, why not have a broken tile? Just cut like that. Or why not have a missing tile, another broken tile there. There we go. So somebody's been on the roof and broken the tiles. Another row of glue. Just had a touch of realism. A broken tile. Yeah, need to get the roofers out to come and fix that before the rains set in for the winter. And then we keep going all the way up until we've done the roof. There we are. Now, as you get to the last row, you'll see here, if we come a little bit closer, you can see here how it's just left an open row of tiles. So what we're going to need to do is actually cut the edge of this down a little bit, and then we can make the final row of tiles neater at the top, because what would probably happen on the roof is there would be some flashing or some ridge tiles to go on, so we can recreate that at a later date. But in the meantime, we just need to trim these up until we get a neat row of tiles for the top of the roof. Now you can see here I've used an offcut just to fill in the gaps. Use the offcuts, and then there's plenty of tiles in the packs, so you can always keep them in stock for the next model. So that one goes on there against the house. And then an offcut will go on that end. We could do exactly the same, or in fact what you can do with this one is you can put it on, and then when it's dry you can trim it off to length, trim it off to the ridge on the other side when it's dried. And tiling a roof is as simple and as quick as that. Now we've just got the other side to do, then we'll paint it, and we're not that far away from being finished now. A few finishing touches. Alright. And there we are. You've caught me now just as I'm putting the final touches to Parsnip Cottage. I've used a little bit of tubing that's provided in the kit to make the chimney pots. These here, just easy. Make sure you cut them to length, and then they can go on nice and straight. I've also finished the roof itself. You saw me doing that in the last scene, cutting the slates, and then I've just used some watercolours to apply the desired coloured finish, in this case Lakeland Slate Grey. Then what I've done, you can see on the tops of the ridges I've put some ridge tiles. They're just from another cardboard kit that's readily available. There's always lots left over from different kits, and that is now all there is to do. This is basically just putting the whole thing together as it is in the packet as you get it from Petite Properties. There's lots more that you can do with it, and I think I'll carry on and do that. Maybe make another video as to how we can enhance this and make it look nice. Things like downspouts, guttering, soil pipes. I would suggest that this one here is the bathroom, so we could maybe have a soil pipe coming out down here. And then if it's not going on a railway location, like some of you might build this property for doing that. We could make it in its own little garden. I have heard, however, that the people that are about to move into this property have applied to the licensing committee to turn the premises into a pub. So that could be an idea. It could become a pub. I'll have to think of a name for a pub. Yeah, that could be good. But that's it. Yeah, it's a brief introduction of Petite Properties, how to build one, a basic one, and this is Parsnip Cottage. The link will be below in the description. I hope that's if I can remember. But yes, that's it. If you've enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and tick the notification bell, and then you get notified of the next time I do something to this or build something else on skipper scale models. But yeah, I'm going to go off and enjoy this a little bit, take some photographs, and then maybe do think some more. But thank you for watching, and yeah, go and build yourself Parsnip Cottage in the style of a Lakeland cottage. Yeah, okay, bye now.